Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Sacha Omer. I am a indie artist from Montreal known as Moodboards. I had this little idea of starting a podcast to as an excuse for me to talk about some of my friends in the creative fields and give you an opportunity to discover some of them. Oftentimes, I feel that beyond our creative output, such as a song or a sculpture or a painting, there's so much more behind the artists. And in today's world, I feel like podcasts are really the new place where we can really discover, in depth who this person really is beyond a tweet or an Instagram post. And this is my little attempt at trying to fill that space because I don't want to have to wait for traditional medias to give us that space. I want to keep them unscripted. I want to keep them raw. I want to keep them honest. My intention here is not to launch a serious podcast and keep this going for years. I just want to take you along with me right now because I feel like it, because it feels good. And I hope that you enjoy this. We will be dissecting a couple songs or going in depth about maybe specific art or an aspect of a person's creative pursuits. Gonna keep it light, keep it fun, and bear with us for the mistakes that we will make along the way. Thank you. And I think we're live, baby. Fuck it. And we'll have to edit whatever we need to edit afterwards.
For sure.
How you going, Nate? How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing very well.
What's up?
I'm on top of my shit.
There you go.
What's up?
So this is the first, I guess you could call it a podcast. I didn't really want to do a podcasting, titles or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to...
Let's just open the mic. What the hell are these guys talking about?
Exactly, I just want to... include people in my universe. I know so many great people like you. I call you a friend, a brother, man. And it is what it is, though.
Of course.
Look.
No doubt, unconditional love, my man.
It's this thing where I feel people aren't going to talk about me unless I talk about me. And I want to talk about myself, but I want to talk about my friends,
Exactly.
I don't want to I don't want to have to wait for somebody else to do it for me,
Exactly.
And that's why you're here. You're my first, I wouldn't even want to say guest,
I feel very great. Thank you. Honored.
And I want to introduce Nate. Emcee Originate.
Emcee Originate.
Emcee Originate.
That's it.
How long you been doing music, man?
I've been doing music since 2012 now.
That's like since yesterday.
That's like, exactly, pretty much 8 years ago. But
yeah.
When I say started, I mean when I started contemplating that I could put words on music, right? Because I was always been a writer, write my journal and my emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
I was considered a weirdo in school, even though I was Mr. Popular.
Still considered
Let's
a
get
weirdo.
It real.
Still considered a weirdo.
You know what I mean? But all these weird thoughts is what really kept me alive because it's entertainment for self, right?
Yeah, completely.
So I was lucky enough to document it, write it down, and then I got into the whole music influence in my life. Started dancing in 2016, which is the first year.
That's how I met you.
Yeah,
through dancing.
Back then,
yeah,
we were just a bunch of dancers. But my soul always is and will always be a dancing soul. So the way that I approach music now is always with a moving approach, right? Because music is what made me move and realize that things are moving. You can't be stagnant or think too long. You know what I mean? So
it's definitely reflected in your music.
So to me, in that sense, is putting a message out there. Also, is if I put a message in my music, it means I took a good time of reflection. I didn't lose my time. I have something to say. And at the end of the day, I do it for myself. I'm still writing my journal, but now it has a melody. It's rhythmic.
Yeah. It's got a whole universe now.
I love to hear it, and I'm always schooling myself. When I forget a certain principle, I could listen to my music, and I could hear myself reminding to myself, keep your head up, do this. Remember that it burns, you know, when it's time to learn. It's like, wow, I wrote that, great. You know, so it's really just a reminder for self.
Fascinating. Honestly, man, sometimes it's a little overwhelming how much thought you put into the whole thing. Like, it blows my mind. You know, you're so conscious in your creative process where I'm so unconscious, you know, where I hate the fact that, like, when people come up to you and they go, oh, what are you doing about that? You know, what's that about? You have such a precise answer. And for me, you know, the only way I know how to be myself in that sense is to be, there is no thought. It's pure action.
Exactly.
It's as pure and as valid as what you do, but it comes out of me in a way that I couldn't explain it back to you. You know,
but that's how it's meant to be, right?
But that's how it's meant to be. In a way,
we're the misunderstood kids. So how we, you know, perceive certain situations will always reflect in our action, because whatever comes at us, we give an immense reflection, and messages count. You know, we got to be heard in a way where our material's got to be infinite. Let's be real. You want to be able to listen to it 30 years from now, and you want to be able to relate with as many people as you can. You know, even though in reality, you're just focused on your niche and you go ahead and do what is best for you. But the motivation behind all of it is still to try to help everybody. Because I believe my music is positive and it's happy. You're going to love it because I love it. Like, I'm convinced.
That's the difference between you and me, though, man. That is the big difference. That's the spiritual difference between you and me. I feel like I don't want to help anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
You put such a...
But you know that thought you just said?
Yeah.
I have it too. But I don't emphasize no energy further. It's a realization. When you realize that it's not meant for everybody, but when that specific person will hear it, they will love it. For sure.
For sure, man. Like, I know that, you know, without a doubt, because it's, you know, it's not my job to quantify what I do. People listen to my music sometimes and they go, I feel happy. And I'm like, fuck, that was such a miserable song.
Yeah.
You know?
But in that sense, right, in your sense, really, it's all about representing an emotion that every human being feels, right?
Just the same way you do, though.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing. Yeah. So no matter how you do it, it's an infinite emotion that when somebody gets into that realm by listening to that music, it evokes a certain type of energy, and they can relate on the same plane as my niche with a different type of music and a different message. It's the exact same thing, because poking curiosity needs to be done in many, many ways. There are many different types of people. So as long as it's pure and original and to, you know, the heart of the person.
This motherfucker's a poet. So Nate, I want to...
I'm really I'm trying.
I would like to introduce anybody who likes my music to what you do. So I just want to preface this by saying that me and Nate have been friends for a long time. We live our lives very differently. We have different styles of music, but it doesn't mean anything to our friendship. I would like you to maybe I want to hear you describe what you do to somebody else who doesn't, you know, somebody comes up to you and says, hey, Nate, what are you about? You know.
That's an interesting question, because I always, you know, worked hard on trying to write the perfect paragraph of that answer.
I bet.
What am I going to say to that specific question? And a person like me likes to do a lot of things, so I got to realize what comes to me. You know, it's a whole process of life. So I like to say it like everything that I realized in the simple things that I did stayed with me in every other situation in my life as I was growing. So every concept for me was a help. When I started as an athlete, you know, that winning mentality is what helped me never stop. And I also did some martial arts. That helped me with my physical self.
Some ice skating?
You know, ice
Shout
skating.
out to that.
You know what I mean? Like, getting around to that movement all kept my mind straight, then moving on to everything else that I did. I'm a manual person. I got to do some work, right? Everybody's got to get some work done. It really depends. That work reality is different for everybody. Some people work for money. Some people work for happiness. Some people work for fun. And money is in every single section of them, right? Yeah. And the thing is that how do I work in however I want and attract the money I need to live the life that I want? That's the only question that one shall work on for the rest of their lives. Everything else will unravel.
How do you relate that to the music? What music do you do? Like, I'm asking you the basic.
I make music that represents simpleness, that represents how to speak to you in a matter of respect and realizing that you are your own, like we said, you're your own cheerer, you're your own pal. You know, you're the only buddy that's going to, the first buddy, not just the only to limit, but the first entity that will help yourself, that will make yourself feel better, that will make yourself understand things. You know, just the word reflection. When you get into a reflection, it means you're taking time with yourself to contemplate something and to make a better decision. So it relates to my music in a type where if I'm trying to make a better decision in my life, then if I look at music and what music really does to me, it makes me vibrate, it makes me move, and it makes me happy. Literally, like singing makes me happy. And every human being loves to sing. It's so freeing to be just vibing with music and words. So how do I relate work and happiness in types of also adapting to the system? Everybody adapts to the system, right? Like what kind of work will not affect my soul and my happiness? And in types of, if I'm doing work that's not keeping me close to the little things that I love doing, and the more I do that, I separate myself from the little things I love doing. So I kind of like lose sight of who I am rather than try to work on myself. You know, that's how things go. Instead of just focusing on my little works, you know, and what makes me happy, all that little music and drawing or skateboarding or taking time to go walk and caress a tree, whatever. The balance between by staying healthy, powerful, and not overworked from what you do.
How do you do that?
Well, I balance, you know. Sometimes I say pause. I'm going to go somewhere and breathe, because the number one thing we got to do is breathe. If we're caught up thinking a lot, we can think for weeks without really coming back to breathing.
Telling me.
That's something. Weeks. So breathing part is number one. Then you want good air, so you go outside, you go for a walk, then you start reflecting on the natural. And when you realize that the human being is always growing in an environment that is for growth, then you balance with that environment. I didn't really understand that concept. I come from a place where I need to work and overwork myself and do so much, you know, make some money to stay going. You know, I want to buy my stuff. I got to pay the bills. But taking a walk in the park, I thought at one point that it was useless. You know, I'm losing time to make money, straight up. I'm losing time to learn something. I could be in the studio writing something, but I learned that with my woman. Shout out, Gigi Queen, I love you. Wow, forever. It's you know, those little things that sometimes taking a break from my rhymes, at one point, you know, sometimes it just lags. You're like, yo, I want it so much. I had a little 2 seconds, 2 bars, and I want a third one, but it's not coming. Like, you know what? I'm going to close my book. I'm going to make myself a nice little sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, change the vibe. Go outside for a walk. Start reflecting. Oh, get a word or two back. I got my little pad on. 2 words, 3 words, 2 or 3 bars. Come back. Keep them for later. At the same time, I'm with my girl, telling her how much I love her, how much things are, wow, I'm realizing that there's no pressure we need to give ourselves in anything in order to get something done.
So wise, my
right?
man. Yeah, no, for sure.
That's easy. But how can we forget about that concept of pressure? We're giving ourselves pressure to work. I got to get it done. I got to be a man of the house.
Capitalism,
now, yo, no.
That's what's up.
So that time with self is much more enjoyable when we're less pressured or mind-free. So the number one thing is to choose what you work in and do what you love, no matter what it is. No matter what it is.
Let me ask you this then. Like, how is it that you're such a serious guy, you're such a mindful human? And, you know, I like to think of myself, you know, somewhere in that vicinity. But, like,
of course,
you manifest it.
I mean, we're brothers. I wouldn't be brothers with anybody else.
My point is, man, my point is that, like, you manifest it in such a happy and joyful way. Mm-hmm. Whereas, you know, I know you haven't had it easy when you were growing up.
Exactly.
Just like me in our own ways. And
exactly.
Your music is so full of sunshine. Mm-hmm. You know, whereas mine is definitely the moon, you know?
Yeah. So what is that reason? Is
like, you know, you...
I like that question,
I would like
actually.
you to tell us what kind of music you play.
I play happy music, man, because in my life, I spend too much time being negative, and we all know, you know,
There you go.
when you're negative, you attract negative energy. But that's such an easy concept that, once again, we don't really realize before a couple years. But what goes around comes around. My bad. So,
And we're live.
I was, spending time with situations in my old home that I didn't like, and wasn't realizing that I was attracting that didn't like energy in my everyday relationships until a long way. And when I did realize that, I realized that if I project that kind of energy and I receive that kind of energy, let me try to project the other kind of energy, who I truly am. Like, I know I'm a happy person.
You had that moment, though.
That moment.
So you had a conversation with yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're like, fuck it. I'm going
I'm going positive 100%. This is real. And I don't care what you believe, because I got my life confirmations. The universe spoke to me. That's right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them.
Sure.
You know, everybody's chosen. But you got to want it. You got to believe that you are. You got to have faith that you are, in fact.
You got to be able to love yourself, man.
That's the key to open a door.
Yeah.
The love.
That comes with...
that takes years of practice still.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Just like learning how to...
play an instrument, you know?
Play an instrument.
Yeah.
Or rock your text on the mic. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time for a lot of that stuff. So...
No doubt.
It's really important to choose what you love, like we said. And to realize that time doesn't really exist. Just get moving, do your things. And there's no real reason or true excuse to be unhappy, right? Or vibing on a negative energy. Everybody feels negative once in a while, but if you vibe on that negativity, it'll come about. What you're doing is different, because you're documenting, what everybody is living, but that doesn't have the necessary, cojones to be able to express that energy of frustration that every human being probably has,
I promise we all do.
Stop lying to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, we all have that frustration, and it's all right to put out a statement, because at this time of the world, people need to relate to things. If we all just relate to hate without understanding that hate, like, also coming from a loving guy, that there's a confusing moment for everybody when we hear the music. It's like, this loving being is speaking that, like,
that truth, though,
Truth, exactly.
Yeah, but I
we
always
don't want to
like,
say it like that, because negative. What do we say about negative? You know?
People always shitting on me for like, oh, you're so fucking dark, blah 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 blah. But there's the other half where I feel like if we were to make a playlist of an event, you're gonna be listening to my song first. And then when you start feeling better, you're going to start listening to Nate's music.
You're going to thank me
but
then.
But it's the same message,
It's the same.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you're releasing it. It's coming out of your body. So you're feeling okay about it. Some people are hiding it and not expressing it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
I'm
that's
not a miserable
also
person.
The message that you're putting out there.
Yeah.
Get your shit out.
Yeah.
No matter what the fuck it is. Don't be scared of your shit.
No, 100%. Yeah, I feel like people, it's funny to think like, because you make happy music or I make sad music, that's how I am. Like, I bet you, if you run into Nate on the wrong day, you're going to get it.
Yo, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to document that, but you're going to get it.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll be like, close the mic. Let's go. Put the beat on. One-on-one. Nah.
You know what, Nate?
That's some schoolboy stuff.
Let's get to it, man. I want to listen to, this is a song you did with like a Montreal legend here. And I think it's time we hear it. Now let's see if it's going to play at an acceptable volume here. We're live.
Let's go. Please accept this.
Hold on.
This is history from Montreal. Y'all should be letting this happen.
This song is called Get Down Like That. And it features Montreal's own Emcee Originate and KNLO, if I'm not mistaken, who just won Album Rap de l'année at La Disque.
Yep. Félicitations KNLO, mon boy.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yo, produced by no other than Mofak. Shout out to Mofak, mon bro.
Shout out Mofak. Mofak is an artist from France.
Yeah, Marseille, de Souche.
And how did you guys meet?
We met in dance events.
You met Mofak when you were a dancer, and he was DJing at dance events.
Exactly. We used to run a dance battle that went on for years in collaboration with the Mural Festival. And at that time, we had a wide connection with all the people that were involved in the dancing scene here in Montreal.
Okay.
And we had the opportunity to bring some artists from the outside to join into our festival, and it made it really hype. It was
I
pretty
just want to
cool.
let
4
everyone
years.
know that, you know, Nate being who he is, he's not going to say it, but these are all big world-class events, and everybody from around the world comes, and it was honestly an eye-opening experience for me.
Man, we had a lot of fun.
Like, and you know, the fact that I was coming from a clothing background as Thumbs Up, and we were sponsoring dancers, people gave me a lot of love and respect.
Man,
at
it
a
went
young
everywhere.
age.
Huh?
And
We came a long way.
It kind of
bro.
blew my mind to see, like, you know, then you go on YouTube, it's like, oh, I just shook this guy's hand, and he's like giving me compliments about blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's like 50 million views on his video. You're like, what? You know, it kind of doesn't make
It's
sense.
big things, man.
So you met Mofak through that.
Yeah, so he was DJing.
You weren't
our
making
popping
music
event.
then.
I was writing,
aspirations.
making music. I started with King George, better yet, South Shore's own Yannick Yabislak. Shout out, bro. Ill advice.
What's up?
Good ass beats. It all started in King George, man, in the hood in Longueuil, bro. That's where we come from. But you know, the hood being not an outside physical matter source, people shooting and everything. I'm talking about broken homes and kids in the street at a young age looking for shit with older people and just bad habits, straight up.
Yeah.
But a lot of love came out of that. So started with Ill Advice, Yannick, then with the boy Lee Roots.
Yeah.
Louis, man.
Yeah, our boy.
We did some magic. And it just, you know, switched from trying to identify myself, realizing that I couldn't deny I was a mover, a dancer. I come from an old school hip hop background, so I like to express message, take my time, and bounce.
Yeah, as we can
Very
hear right
rhythmic.
now. And so, yeah, we just
Oh,
heard
man.
KNLO right
It's a
now.
good
And
track right
so,
here.
you know, you just, I met him in passing once or
Wow,
twice
man.
through you. And I must say that, like, without knowing him, I just feel like, oh, having seen him, you know, I kind of immediately get why you and him would be vibing on
Man,
that
he
level.
is a super authentic being, man. I love him
I
so
bet.
much. Love
I
you
bet.
guys. Caro, KNLO, on se voit très bientôt. Yo, for
Big
real,
track.
man.
Big track.
I'm honored. I'm honored. He put me well. I'm honored even Mofak put me well. Everybody on my path. You know, being nice to people goes a long way, you know.
Yeah, I just feel like it's kind of funny for me because knowing you, and I see these big names, you know, internationally and locally, you know, getting down with you like on that.
Even I'm surprised. I'm like, what?
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's kind of shocking, but also, you know,
It's making sense now,
it
you know?
makes sense to me, anyways, because
Yeah.
I'm not you. I'm able to see this differently. You know? I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like I thought
Obviously.
I thought you were dope when I met you,
Uh-huh.
but then it's like to see all these people, you know, quote
Come
unquote,
on.
co-signing that talent that you have. It's like, wow.
Man, I'm blushing, bro.
And that's sort of the reason that led me to want to talk to you in a podcast form, a conversation form, you know, because again, like I said, you know, people don't want to, I don't want to wait after people to talk to us, to talk about us.
It's important to put it out, and we're the only
Yeah.
ones who could do it. So
Yeah.
might as well put the microphone on and document this. I'm not ashamed of where I come from. A lot of love for everybody that stepped in my life and that helped me grow. Everybody helped me grow, good or bad, negative or positive. It's my choice to choose that I live positive, and everybody shall respect that. And as much as I respect myself, then it'll be.
100%, man. And listen,
Right,
I want
so-
to put on another song here.
Let's go.
It's going to be, this one's called The Mothership. It's on Mofak's record. It just
This
came out
Mofak's
recently.
new record came out,
When did it come out?
October 30th.
October 30th, 2020?
Oh, dope album.
And this song
It's
is
actually
called-
featuring Cocaine on that
Hey,
album.
yo.
Yee, shout out the
All right.
Cocaine brothers
Yo,
out in LA.
that motherfucker's
What
name
up?
is Cocaine.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
You should. We're gonna
That's
check out a little bit of his album
amazing.
after this.
Yo,
man. This is a massive honor for me too to be on Mofak's record at
Yeah.
this time.
For sure, that guy's
You know,
huge.
a lot of people took chances to
And
believe
how funny
in me.
that KNLO and Mofak have made music before.
Man, how funny is
It's
that?
like it was meant to be.
It's meant to be.
Ooh.
Look at this.
Hello, my beautiful people. This is the
once again, you know, music to make you dance, reflect.
That's baby making music.
Yeah,
That's what that
that's
is.
a, you know, that's some roots keeping. This is a music that will forever live.
This is so like, I hate to use these simple words, but like this is happy, but it's also funky.
This is funky.
This is nasty.
It's funky.
Yuck.
Yo, it's some stanky face,
Disgusting.
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, for real.
No, I'm really.
It's the only reason why we do it, you know, make it really like enjoyable on that.
I wish Chloe could hear this music right now because this is the whole thing.
Oh, she cannot
She
hear.
doesn't have headphones right now. Yeah, you know, co-pilot don't got headphones. I'm working on that.
That's the
Next
whole
podcast we
thing.
got another set of headphones.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
It's the first one.
it's the first one. That's right.
This is mad fun. Thank you. Shout out to Mood Boards, man. Daily Whip, Sasha. Everything that comes out of this human is amazing. I know I love you for real, man. And
Hey, I like
this is what we don't really tell each other often, not just you and I, but the whole world, you know. Like,
Yeah.
a little bit more love won't hurt nobody. Nah, man.
That's right.
Yeah, straight up.
I feel like, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm distracted here by the funkiness here, the stank.
Yeah. Look at goosebumps on the back when you move. Yeah. Hey.
So how does this work? He
Well-
sends you tracks.
Yeah, well, we before, you know, the pandemic, I had the opportunity to travel a little more. So, you know, we built plans we try to like evolve a 5-year schedule and
Wow.
work on that since. And then he sends me tracks.
Oh, okay. So I want people to know that you guys have like a schedule and you guys try to plan ahead as much as possible.
You know how I am, man. I'm a dreamer, so whenever we get on that plane, man, we get in as much projection as possible, and then we work on those projections. But so when we see each other, it's brief, quick, but we set out a whole 2-year agenda and we get working. So we're working on a new album as well. Got a couple tracks that are recorded.
I don't get
I
how
have
you guys
some.
put out so
I
much
have some
shit.
tracks that are in my computer that need to get out, but you know how we are. I'm like,
This snare ain't ready yet.
it's never ready. But you know what? I got to release because, you know, people have been, I wouldn't say waiting, but, you know, I just released an album 6 months ago. Keep it moving. Check it out. To all the people, thank you for streaming. Wow, mad love for all the streaming. Man, for real, this has been a dream for me. So much love. So keep streaming, keep it moving all over the social networking, all them social platforms. It is an album where you will hear me sing. I'm very proud of singing, you know. My mother always told me I gotta be singing because it's a more enjoyable vibe.
You know what? I want to talk about your mom for a second.
I'm a mama's boy, you know that.
Because
But
your
very
mom really
controlled, man.
blew my mind, bro. Your mom was like, yo, your mom is so G.
My mom is one whole piece of another.
And your
Like,
mom said something to you about your music. And she said to you that you have to have the girls dancing.
She told me to sing. The woman will love to sing. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the woman will sing that music.
That's
When
crazy
you're able to
that she
sing.
said that.
My mom
it's so
showed me
accurate.
everything. She showed me the dancing. She showed me everything. She
Man.
was just at home being like, you boys ain't know nothing. Let me show you how we do it. She was not born yesterday, man. She's been in all around, her and her sisters in the clubs and dancing and getting all that attention, you know. So they definitely knew how to get a crowd going. And
Listen,
that's what
man.
she showed me at home. So
I work in the industry, and I'm blown away at like such a simple advice. People will be like, "Hey, if it gets the girls dancing, it's good." And you know what? It sounds so stupid to say, but a hit is a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit.
man, from where I come from, I'm not ashamed to say, as soon as you know, the results, you know, it started off, you know, a lot more old school hip hop. I reached, you know, outside the country, which much respect to all the countries that stream, but you know, made some funk music. Really, you know, it represents who I am. But as soon as I got to the slow soul funk singing, you know, and people are like, the streaming level went through the roof.
Is that right?
I'm not really in those big numbers like all these guys, you know, because my first release was in 2016, so really just 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, again, I want to take a moment here just to acknowledge we go from 2016, this fucking guy in the 450 releases a fucking rap record.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Okay, who the fuck is this guy? And then next thing you know,
A 3-track
Mofak,
mixtape.
international fucking songs, and then next thing you know, he's rapping with fucking local heroes. Fuck.
For real, much respect to Mofak, man. He really knew how to believe in me in times where even I didn't know how much capacity I could push this singing. He really sat me down in, I believe, 2018 in my studio. I had built a little studio at home in Broussard when I was living there.
Yeah.
And we always freestyle. We always it starts like that. We put music, we freestyle, man. And he's like, yo, check these out. I'm like, oh, dope. Yeah, check this. Yo, check that. Yo, put a check on that.
Try this.
Put that aside. And then he really told me after a freestyle that singing came out. You know, I rap and stuff. Sometimes I break because I'm born on freestyle. That's what I do. I hear music. I make music. I just want to like blah, you know, put some words out. So he told me, yo, that's singing, man. It's like, yo, you gotta sing. So bring that out. Bring that out. And he told me in a way where it reminded me my mom, you know, being like, yo, you gotta sing for them girls. And it clicked. And at that point I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start singing.
I love this.
This is real
Yo,
history,
but
man.
honestly,
like,
this is it.
This is
And
it.
look at you now, you motherfucker.
This is just how it happened, you know, the connections. Obviously, after that, you got to put a lot of work into it, but with a motive. So I'm speaking the motives.
Sure, of course.
So when Mofak repeated what I, you know, already heard, it made sense to me to start. So when I released this last album here 6 months ago, Keep It Moving, there was my first love song, Crazy Funky Love. Shout out to, once again, my queen. You know, it took me time to write about the love I was living because, you know, a love story, everybody has their own love story. You can't tell another how to love. So I had to make my own love story, and writing about it, it involved a lot of living about it. So, right, time came from the living about it, but it made me good, and it did me good to release it. And better yet, I have almost 30,000 streams in 6 months with this new album, Keep It Moving, which is, to
insane.
me,
And I want
it
everyone
went from
to know.
like a couple thousands per year. Per year to like 30,000 in 6 months. So I'm like, okay, maybe my mom was right. You know, maybe, you know, now real talk, maybe I should be keeping, you know, that slow talk,
maybe you
smooth
need to keep it
love,
moving,
baby,
Nate.
making music, rhythm,
You know?
melody stuff. You know what I mean? Like that funk.
Yeah, but listen. You're not signed. You're an unsigned, independent, self-produced artist.
Yep.
You write all your own shit. You play on all your own music. You play all your fucking instruments. The people that you work with are your fucking people.
It's rough out there.
Listen. These are top shelf productions we just heard. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Listen, this is not.
I definitely know how to place myself. You know, like we don't come here and settle for less, man. If it takes time, it takes time to find the right people to put us in the right place.
Hey, look, if anybody out there is gonna go fucking listen to Originate, likes what they heard, my man needs a deal. Okay,
let's go.
My man needs to be. Look, people are fucking around. People are sleeping right now.
No, people are watching.
Okay.
I know people are watching.
I know for sure. The right people are gonna hear this, you know, and they're gonna love it because everyone loves it. Nate, there's nothing.
I even seen some people switch.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, time will tell, man, and it doesn't really matter as long as I keep doing me. People could, you know, like see my life unravel on their own timing and realize that I was there for their own good. If they don't get it now, they'll get it later. You know.
Yo, that's the name of your new album, bro. I love it.
Don't
get it now, get it later.
Get it later. I remember that.
I'm really happy that we had a chance to sit down, Nate, and just catch up a little bit.
And me too.
And I'm sure we're going to do another one of these when this formula is even more polished.
I hope.
You know? There's a lot more to be said, and I just wanted to make it nice and easy. Just make it palatable. You know, two guys talking, two friends talking.
Exactly. This is just simple conversation.
And I'm looking forward to more. And you're currently working on new music right now, Nate?
Currently working on music, working on, you know, my next objective in life is to move on with my financial, and
that's right.
Start getting busy with my own renovation project.
Right on, man. Fucking yeah. Does that have a name? Where can we call? What's up?
Right now I'm working with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
À la construction, check it out. We can renovate anything you need. We subtract and have our licenses, so let's go.
Perfect.
On an unpersonal, you know, level, we all out here to flip some houses and make that dough. So honestly,
Perfect.
to all the people out there, get your ownership. And not just ownership of your soul, then get your ownership of your systematic schedule, ritual.
Nate,
And stay in love.
I love you. Thank you very much.
Love you, Sash. Thanks for having me, man, for real. This means a lot.
I love you, and we'll do more of this, and I
See
hope
you
that
after many more conversations with, other
absolutely
beautiful people.
Thank you guys. Stay tuned, and I hope that this recorded well. Have a good night.